Welcome to Connect with Animal. Today, we explore the terrifying stare of the Shoebill Stork, the bird with a death gaze that never blinks. Why is its look so frightening? Let's uncover the mystery behind one of nature's most intimidating birds.
This is the shoebill, a prehistoric remnant, a creature that defies simple categorization. Its stare is legendary. Observers have recorded it standing without moving for hours on end, a testament to its incredible patience. This unblinking gaze isn't just for show. It's a hunting tool, a weapon of psychological warfare against its prey.
In the vast swamps of central tropical Africa, patience is the ultimate virtue for a predator like this.
Its name comes from this incredible appendage, a beak shaped like a wooden shoe or clog.
But this is no ordinary beak. It's one of the most powerful and lethal tools in the avian world. Measuring up to 24 centimeters long, it's the third longest beak among all existing birds. The edges are razor sharp, and the hook at the tip is designed for one purpose: to pierce and kill. It's a tool of immense power, yet handled with surprising delicacy when needed. But its true purpose is brutal. For the creatures of the swamp, this shadow means death. The shoebill begins its hunt by becoming a statue. It waits and waits, sometimes for hours, conserving every ounce of energy for the critical moment.
Its primary prey is the lungfish. Forced to surface for air, the fish betrays its location.
A flicker of movement. The prey has made its fatal mistake. The coiled spring is about to release. The attack is a phenomenon of sudden, explosive violence. A collapse strike.
It's over in a fraction of a second. A blur of gray feathers and pure predatory force.
The hunt is successful. But the processing of the meal is just as brutal as the capture. Often, it will decapitate the fish with its sharp beak before swallowing it whole, head first.
But the shoebill's diet isn't limited to fish. It is an opportunistic hunter with a taste for the extreme.
Even another apex predator, in its infancy, is seen as a potential meal.
Its movements are slow, methodical, almost robotic. It closes the distance with terrifying purpose.
For a terrifying moment, predator meets predator. But size and power are on the shoebill's side. The force is so great it can pierce the tough, armored hide of a young crocodilian. There is no struggle. The fight is over before it even began. A display of lethal efficiency. This act elevates the shoebill from a mere bird to a true apex predator of the swamp. For the shoebill, this was not an epic battle. It was simply another meal, another day in the swamp. A solitary hunter, it reigns supreme in this isolated kingdom of water and reeds. A true dinosaur of our time. Its diet is varied. Frogs, water snakes, and large fish are all on the menu for this voracious hunter. Anything that moves in these waters is assessed as potential food. Few creatures are safe from its gaze.
The beak is a marvel of biological engineering, combining lightweight with devastating crushing power.
With one of the slowest wing beats of any bird, its flight is as measured and menacing as its stare.
Its long legs and broad feet allow it to stand motionless for hours in the soft mud of the swamp.
Despite their solitary nature, they have a unique greeting, a loud, rattling sound known as bill clattering.
Shoebills are fiercely protective parents, raising one or two chicks in massive nests built on the ground.
In the intense African heat, they even use their beaks as buckets to cool down their young. This stillness is its greatest weapon, an ancient strategy perfected over millions of years of evolution.
So how does it stare for so long? It blinks with a third, translucent eyelid, never losing sight of its prey.
Though sometimes called a stork, it's not. Genetic evidence suggests it's more closely related to pelicans.
Its home is specific, dense, freshwater swamps where the water is low in oxygen, forcing fish to the surface.
But even this formidable predator faces threats. Habitat destruction and the illegal pet trade endanger its future.
Conservation efforts are underway to protect the swamps and ensure the survival of this incredible bird.
It is a key part of a fragile ecosystem, a world of stunning beauty and ruthless survival.
Rain or shine, the hunter waits. Unflinching, unmoving, a master of its domain.
Despite its fearsome reputation, it can display surprisingly curious behaviors, like this bowing greeting.
But do not be fooled. This is not a pet. It is not a cute mascot. It is a killer. Pop culture may try to soften its image, but reality is far more terrifying and respectable. It is a living dinosaur, a silent assassin of the swamp, a creature worthy of awe and fear. The instrument of death is wiped clean by the swamp, ready for its next victim. The cycle continues. With a wingspan reaching 2.5 meters, its presence commands respect and inspires terror. It patrols its territory with a slow, confident gait, the undisputed ruler of this watery domain. Every tool has its purpose. Even this deadly weapon is used for meticulous self-maintenance. A glimpse into the abyss. A mouth capable of swallowing its prey whole in a single, fluid motion. As darkness falls, the swamp changes. But the shoebill remains, a silent guardian at the edge of night.
It is selective. It won't waste its energy on small fry, preferring a meal that offers a greater reward.
The force of its bite is immense, capable of crushing bone and shell with shocking ease.
After the kill, the weapon is clean. A chillingly practical behavior that underscores its predatory nature.
It sees everything. It misses nothing. In its world, a single moment of inattention means death. It is a creature of myth and legend, a phantom of the African wetlands, as ancient as the moon itself. Looking at it, you are looking back in time. Its form echoes the great predatory dinosaurs.
Even in simple acts, its prehistoric ancestry is undeniable. A living fossil in every sense.
It moves with an unnerving confidence, the walk of an animal that knows it has no natural predators. The lesser creatures of the swamp are beneath its notice. Its focus is always on a more significant prize. Its plumage is not soft, but stiff and bristle-like, a coat of armor for a feathered warrior. A moment of violent grace, shaking off the water before resuming its silent, deadly watch.
To see one in the wild is an unforgettable experience, a powerful reminder of nature's strange and brutal beauty.
Fish, amphibians, reptiles, if it lives in the swamp, it is on the shoebill's menu. It is a creature born of this harsh environment, shaped by it, and ultimately, the master of it. The shoe-like bill, the unblinking stare, the statue-like patience, these are the hallmarks of a master hunter. It pushes the limits of what a bird can hunt, what it can kill, and what it can consume. It does not hesitate to kill even other predators. A truly fearless and formidable animal. It is a creature that defies easy explanation. A puzzle of evolution. A masterpiece of predatory design.
It endures. In its hidden world of water and shadow, the swamp assassin continues its reign.
So when you look at this bird, remember what you've seen. This is no gentle giant.
It is a calculating, efficient, and ruthless killer. The undisputed king of the swamp.
The swamp keeps its secrets, and its deadliest predator is always watching, waiting, and ready to strike. Forget cute mascots. This is the Shoebill, a true assassin of the wetlands.